conducted in accordance with laws and rules, and we need small minors to be accessed by these rules and procedures. The government recognizes our rights and they are considered.
As the new property tax payment through the Luku system came into effect today, residents in Dar es Salaam have called on relevant authorities to provide public education on the payment process in order to avoid complaints.
I'm just a tenant. Today I will be here and tomorrow I'll be shifting to the other house. I'm not sure I understand their concern. What I see here is that the work has been simplified. Instead of paying per year, then each month 1,000 will be deducted. I do not see the problem. The owner is responsible to come to TRA and tell us which of the 5 meters connected will be collecting that tax. Exemption is given to homeowners over 60 years, and every year someone must send applications for their exemption.
Dar es Salaam Region Commissioner Amos Makala has inspected equipment that will be used to detect theft or unauthorized distribution of fuel from the main oil pipeline at the port of Dar es Salaam to various fuel traders.
Hivi karibuni nilikutana na wadau na baraza la
I met with the stakeholders and the business council. One of the challenges is the queue which is in the port. I wanted to come and see what point you have reached and when the road construction will end. It has never happened in the history of East Africa to receive a large cargo ship with over 3,000 vehicles, and this is due to the improvement of this port.
Kwa hiyo nilitaka kuja kujionea kwamba mmefikia hatua gani na barabara itaisha lini.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs and East Africa Cooperation Ambassador Liberata Mulamula has met and held talks with envoys and heads of international organizations in the country on the recently held 41st Heads of State and Government Southern African Development Community Summit that was held in Malawi, where, among other issues, Ambassador Mulamula said the SADC leaders have agreed to cooperate on how to address COVID-19.
I wanted to warn them about Mbowe's case because we have seen different embassy representatives going to the court during the hearing of this case. But for them going there, they are putting themselves at risk, because we may never know what will happen to them while they are there. And for us as Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we'll be responsible to answer for it. We advise them to find another means to follow up on this case. As it's well known, it's not advisable to be in crowded area because of COVID-19 pandemic.
We are under the control of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and follow the constitution of the Tanzania. Know what we want to do, but the constitution. Our line is, and our gate is the foreign affairs.
The COVID-19 vaccination campaign continues in various parts of the country. The Ministry of Health, Community Development, Gender, the Elderly and Children has urged Tanzanians to not stop steam inhalation and use of traditional medicine, as they are also effective in combating COVID-19 symptoms.
Ninaikumbusha jamii kutokuacha kutumia nyungu.
I remind the society not to stop steaming with registered natural medicines. There is a process following scientific procedures before medicine is registered to measure safety and effectiveness.
Kwanza kwa watoa huduma ya tiba asili wenyewe, kwa maana wataalamu.
We are involving the natural medical providers. More than 200 natural medical experts have proved their participation in these celebrations.
Na kuzalisha kina mama wajawazito na kutoa ushauri mbalimbali wa kiafya, tunawashirikisha kwa kiwango kikubwa.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows shortly after the break. We'll be right back.
Are you ready for some great news? I'm Christine Mundwa.
And I am Eddie Micah Jr. with the brand new DW News Africa.
the show that tackles the issues shaping the continent.
Now with more time to offer an in-depth look at all the trends that matter to you.
What's making the headlines and what's behind them?
We're on the streets to give you in-depth reports and insights.
DW News Africa.
Welcome back, and in international news. The Court of Appeal in Kenya has given its verdict on nullification of the Constitutional Amendment Bill of 2020, known as the Building Bridges Initiative BBI, by stating that President Uhuru Kenyatta had violated the Constitution by starting the amendment process. The 7-judge bench led by Court of Appeal President Daniel Musinga made the landmark ruling that will shape the political landscape.
The basic structure doctrine limits the amendment power set out in Articles 255 to 257 of the Constitution. Okwengu J.A. and Sichale J.A. dissenting. Number 3, the basic structure of the Constitution can only be altered through the primary constituent power, which must include 4 sequential processes, namely civic education, public participation and collection of views, constituent assembly debate, and ultimately a referendum. Okwengu, Katembu, and Sichale JGA dissenting. 4. Civil court proceedings can be instituted against the President or a person performing in the functions of the office of the President during their tenure of office in respect of anything done or not done contrary to the Constitution. Tuyot J.A. dissenting.
Taliban have started house-to-house searches for opponents and their families, according to a United Nations Threat Assessment report. Here's more on the report.
After routing government forces and taking over Kabul on Sunday to end the 20 years of war, the group has repeatedly promised a complete amnesty. Women have also been assured their rights will be respected and that the Taliban will be positively different from their brutal 1996 up to 2001 rule. The report, written by the Norwegian Center for Global Analysis, said the group's fighters were also screening people on the way to Kabul's airport.
The Prime Minister of Burundi has said that more needs to be done to improve relations between Burundi and Rwanda, and that both countries need to address issues that have contributed to the situation. Crimes existed even before 2015-2016, where we handed over Rwandan criminals to Rwandan authorities. Although they denied to give our people, but later on gave us a few criminals who were determined to do revolutions. We have no intention of harming Rwandan citizens because they are neighbors. It is best to make amendments on issues that went astray. So far, Rwanda has failed to give feedback on our request. The government of Uganda has suspended 54 rights groups because the NGOs have failed to comply with legislation covering their activities, which targets agencies ranging from rights watchdogs to women's groups, were announced at the government's Non-Governmental Organizations Bureau. The NGOs Bureau says measures due to violations of various regulations, which includes operation with expired permits, failing to file accounts, and failing to register with the authorities. And that is the end of international news. Business news follows shortly after the break. We'll be right back.
Meet business leaders and experts who keep you informed on business and economic developments taking place in the country, such as tourism, construction, energy, transport, mining, agriculture, communication, banking, real estate, and more. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m. only on Capital Television.
Welcome back, and in business news. Mtwara Port stakeholders have asked the government to increase cargo handling equipment and to abolish empty container storage charges, being among measures that facilitate transportation of cashew cargo through the port.
Na zile bull thruster zote basic tag sidhani kama itahitajika sana, ila nimtoe wasiwasi.
Tanzania Ports Authority has ordered 4 bathing tag, 1 for each port in Tanga, Mtwara and Dar es Salaam. All port services are given by TPA. If there is need of more bathing tag in a certain port, fear not, they will be provided by taking some from other ports. We're expecting to export not less than 200,000 tons at Mtwara Port. By using this port, there are several benefits. First, we shall only use Mtwara Port workers only, unlike previously where we used to spend and depend on workers of Dar es Salaam too.
Sasa hivi tutakuwa na wafanyakazi zaidi badala ya Mtwara. Dar es Salaam kuna watu wachache sana, korosho za pwani tu ndio zitakwenda Dar es Salaam, ambazo sio nyingi.
Farmers in Ruvuma region have urged the government through the National Food Reserve Agency NFRA to increase the volume of maize they plan to buy from farmers, amounting to 32,000 tons, which is small in comparison to the region's production estimates of more than 800,000 tons.
Lazima wajitahidi kusimamia ili wakulima wenyewe wanufaike wakulima.
They should monitor the exercise so that farmers will benefit from the crop. Unfortunately, farmers toil a lot in production of traders who benefit the most.
Mimi naishukuru serikali ya Mheshimiwa Mama Samia.
I thank the government because prices are good, because high cultivation of maize this season, 500 shillings is a good price.
Kwa sababu mkoa wa Ruvuma tuna mahindi mengi sana. Ni tani ndogo sana.
And Tanzania Petrol Station Operations Association, TAPSOA, has called on the government to change the system used to sample fuel as it was outdated in order to address various quality standard challenges facing fuel station operators.
Na hilo gari ambalo limepeleka mafuta pale kituoni ni lori hilo moja ambalo limetoka Dar es Salaam likapeleka zile product pale. Katika kutest utakuta matenki matatu yamepasi, lakini tenki moja limefeli maka. Kwa hiyo kuna vitu vingi ambavyo vinaweza kusababisha, lakini asilimia kubwa ya haya matatizo yaliyojitokeza tunaweza kuwa na mashaka makubwa yameanzia kule kwenye uwekaji wa maka, kwa sababu utaratibu wa kuweka maka tumeueleza hauturidhishi kabisa.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose to Lent.
Welcome back, and in sports news. Taifa Stars head coach announced a 28-man first squad which will start preparations for the Qatar 2022 World Cup.
Every country around the world, they have the ambition to be a part in the World Cup because it's the cream of the cream, it's the best. And end of the day, it reflects the football level of the country. How competitive are the best league? How is the educational system? How are the academy regulation? How are the youth football pathway? All these things, you more think a federation or country have in place, you better, end of the day, the chances is to go for the World Cup. If you look at the teams who have been winning the World Cup most times, whatever is a South American teams or a European team, you see that if you go to that background of Brazil or Germany, or you see how everything is well organized, is very systematical, and from they're very young and all the way up.
Yanga Sports Club will launch their Mwananchi Week this Sunday in Zanzibar that will climax on August 29th in Dar es Salaam.
Kwa walikuwa Zanzibar, basi kuanzia siku ya kesho hizi shughuli zitaanza rasmi.
For those who are in Zanzibar, these activities will start tomorrow. So they should show up to show our strength. Because a big club has to show its strength. And our strength is people. So people should come in large numbers to conduct those activities.
Wanafahamu ambacho kinini kinatakiwa kufanywa.
Madrid have confirmed that forward Karim Benzema has signed a new deal that will keep him at the club until 2023. Here's more.
France forward's contract was due to expire next summer, but after losing club captain Sergio Ramos to PSG when his deal ran out earlier this year, the club have moved to ensure the same does not happen to Benzema. A release clause of €1 billion has been inserted into the deal for the 33-year-old. After joining in 2009, Benzema has gone on to make 560 appearances in all competitions for Real and is the club's fifth all-time leading goal scorer with 281. He has also won 4 Champions League titles and 3 La Liga titles during his time at the Santiago Bernabeu.
Mikel Arteta said Arsenal are not finished in the transfer market after completing a £34 million deal for Martin Odegaard that takes their summer spending worth of £100 million.
Arsenal are also on the verge of sealing a £30 million deal for the Sheffield United goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale, who underwent a medical on Thursday, and Arteta remains keen to add further to his squad before the end of the month. Odegaard spent the second half of last season on loan from Real Madrid, whom he joined aged 16, but is now signed on a permanent basis to become Arsenal's 4th major summer recruit following the arrivals of Ben White, Nuno Tavares and Albert Sambi Lokonga. The 22-year-old will not be available for Sunday's game against Chelsea as the club are awaiting visa clearance, Arsenal have confirmed.
And Steve Bruce has revealed that a lot of Newcastle United players have not been vaccinated against COVID and cited conspiracy theories as a reason why so many professional footballers are reluctant to get inoculated.
Given the stark reality that Darlow lost 2 stone during the course of 5 nights in hospital earlier this summer and is still not fit enough to return to the first team squad, the high number of vaccine refusances at St. James Park may seem surprising. However, Bruce is far from the only manager imploring his squad to protect themselves. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has recently spoken of his struggle to convince certain players at Manchester United to have their inoculations, and Neil Warnock admitted the majority of his Middlesbrough squad had declined invitations to be injected.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbo. Thank you for watching and good night.
Capital News live on our social media accounts, YouTube, Capital TV.